Hi friends, welcome back to Learning Time with Morah Bayla. Yesterday we made pizza together, and today I wanted to read two of my favorite books with you. Are you ready to watch and read and listen? Here is our first book. Our first book is called Freight Train, and the author is Donald Cruz. Have you read this book sometimes in the classroom with me or in a classroom with your other Morahs? This is one of our favorite books in the blue class, and we're going to see all the different train cars. Freight train. Here's our cover again, Freight Train. Freight Train by Donald Cruz. A train runs across this track. Red caboose at the back. Orange tank car next. Yellow hopper car. Green stock car. Blue gondola car. And a purple boxcar. Next comes a black tender and a black steam engine. Freight train, and I see all of the rainbow-colored trains being pulled by the black freight engine, by the black steam engine. And I also see a lot of steam coming from the front of the train because that's how it goes. Chugga, 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 choo, choo. Moving. The train is getting blurry. Going through tunnels. Going by cities. Does our city look like that? Kind of looks like New York City. Crossing trestles. That's a special bridge. Moving in darkness. Good night. Moving in daylight. Good morning. Going, going, gone. The train went by, and all I see left is a little bit of its steam. Oh, that was one of our favorite books, and we saw the different rainbow colors of the train cars. And then the train chugga chugga choo chooed away. Are you ready for our next book? Our next book is called Harold and the Purple Crayon. And you're going to see it's about a boy named Harold who has a magical purple crayon. Are you ready to hear the secret of his magical crayon? His magical crayon, whenever he draws, it makes that thing. Do you think that he's just imagining? Because if we use our imagination to create new things, we can make a whole world, even just at home. Are you ready to listen and read? Here's my book, Harold and the Purple Crayon. And the author of this book is Crockett Johnson. That's the person who wrote the book. Oh. Harold and the Purple Crayon. Hello, Harold. Another cover page, Harold and the Purple Crayon. And do you see the squiggly lines of the purple crayon? One evening, after thinking it over for some time, Harold decided to go for a walk in the moonlight. There wasn't any moon, and Harold needed a moon for a walk in the moonlight. And he needed something to walk on. He made a long, straight path so he wouldn't get lost. And he set off on his walk, taking his big purple crayon with him. But he didn't seem to be getting anywhere on the long, straight path. So he left the path for a shortcut across a field, and the moon went with him. The shortcut led right to where Harold thought a forest should be. He didn't want to get lost in the woods, so he made a very small forest with just one tree in it. It turned out to be an apple tree. The apples would be very tasty, Harold thought, when they got red. So he put a frightening dragon under the tree to guard the apples. Roar! It was a terribly frightening dragon. Oh, look at those big teeth. It even frightened Harold. He got frightened by his own dragon. Sometimes that happens. He backed away. His hand holding the purple crayon shook. Do you see those squiggly lines that show that his hand is shaking? Suddenly, he realized what was happening. But by then, Harold was over his head in an ocean. He came up, thinking fast, and in no time, he was climbing aboard a trim little boat. He quickly set sail. Do you see him drawing the sail on his new boat? And the moon sailed along with him. Hello, moon. After he had sailed long enough, Harold made land without much trouble. He came back to land away from the ocean. He stepped onto the beach, wondering where he was. The sandy beach reminded Harold of picnics, and the thought of picnics made him hungry. So he laid out a nice, simple picnic lunch. There was nothing but pie, but there were all 9 kinds of pie that Harold liked best. What is your favorite kind of pie? Mine is apple. When Harold finished his picnic, there was quite a lot left. Oh, wow, that is a lot left. He can't eat all 9 pies by himself. He didn't like to see so much delicious pie go to waste. So Harold left a very hungry moose and a deserving porcupine to finish it up. Hello, Mr. Moose. Hello, Mrs. Porcupine. And off he went, looking for a hill to climb to see where he was. Harold knew that the higher up he went, the farther he could see. So he decided to make the hill into a mountain. If he went high enough, he thought, he could see the window of his bedroom. He was tired and he felt he should be getting to bed. He hoped he could see his bedroom window from the top of the mountain. But as he looked down over the other side, he slipped and there wasn't any other side of the mountain. He was falling in thin air. Oh no, what's going to happen to Harold? But luckily, he kept his wits and his purple crayon. He figured out what to do. He made a balloon and he grabbed onto it. And he made a basket under the big balloon, big enough to stand in. He had a fine view from the balloon, but he couldn't see his window. He couldn't even see a house. So he made a house with windows, and he landed the balloon on the grass in the front yard. None of the windows was his window. He tried to think where his window should be. He made some more windows. He made a big building full of windows. He made lots of buildings full of windows. He made a whole city full of windows. Which one will be his? But none of the windows was his window. He couldn't think where it might be. Do you have a window that's for yourself? For your room, maybe, or for your apartment? He decided to ask a policeman where his window was. The policeman pointed the way Harold was going anyway, but Harold thanked him. Thank you. And he walked along with the moon, wishing he was in his room and in bed. Then, suddenly, Harold remembered. He remembered where his bedroom window was when there was a moon. It was always right around the moon. And then Harold made his bed. He got in it and he drew up the covers. The purple crayon dropped onto the floor, and Harold dropped off to sleep. Good night, Harold. That was fun going on all of Harold's adventures with him, and I'm glad Harold found his way home to sleep. And that is the end of our stories for today. Did you like reading about the colorful rainbow freight train? And then about all the adventures Harold went on with his purple crayon and his imagination? Maybe you can imagine all the things you can draw with your purple crayon or any color crayon and go on adventures in your imagination. Goodbye, friends. I'll see you again tomorrow. I hope you have a wonderful day and you enjoyed our books.